All right. So, when last we left off, what was happening? Sorry, I gotta do something. Okay. Your group, having made their way across the sea, almost dying, well, maybe not almost dying, but having a run-in with some rather angry hobgoblins on boats. You had finally made your way into the city of Vasselheim, finding it to be a fairly bustling place, very well fortified. And so it had met an interesting character in one Vanessa, who had invited you to possibly become part of a guild of monster slayers called the Slayer's Take. Some of you were very interested in this, but more immediate things were pressing, and you were on your way to find first the Temple of Pelor and possibly somewhere to stay for the night. Going to another part of the city, which was strangely warm and where things were growing everywhere, you eventually found a temple with a giant sunburst on the outside, and walking in, you find yourself in a domed, good-sized temple with a, looks like almost holographic, bright sun floating and slowly rotating in the above you in the air in the upper part of the dome. What looks like some type of priest, an elf, walks up to you and says, "Welcome. How may we help you?" And that's where we're starting off. So, who wants to talk to the elf?
I will talk to the elf.
Okay.
This one also worships the sun. This one has gone through many tribulations to come here to learn of the sun. We have met these ones, and we need a shelter for the night.
All right. Well, it's always good to find another worshiper of Pelor. How long have you been a follower?
I have always worshipped this sun. This Pelor is new to me, but I am come to learn if they are one and the same.
Well, we can tell you all about that if you'd like. The rest of you, please, are you also followers of the Dawn Father?
I don't really think they are. They haven't mentioned it.
Me personally, no.
Oh, all right. And you, good sir, with the fine clothes and the dagger. And the elf gestures to you, Roland.
Yeah.
Do you worship the Dawn Father?
No, I do not.
All right. Well, all are welcome, and no matter. Please, we were just having some food. Would you like to join?
I want food.
All right. Well, follow me, and leading you through the large open area in the first part of the temple here, and into a passage. You see that there's actually a complex kind of behind the temple. It's not huge, not as big as some of the temples y'all have been in, but pretty good size. And it seems like everything here is kept fairly clean. Some of those same workers from out in the fields you see are now gathering to have their evening meal in several different places. And eventually the elf leads you into a fairly good-sized kind of common hall where there's many tables set up and there's all kinds of food being finished up in preparation or brought to tables, and just kind of a bustle of of some work and lots of conversation as people come in, and some of them in the same kind of gold-colored robes as the priest who greeted you, and others in the browns and grays of the people working in the fields. And the elf kind of gestures and beckons you over to a table near the side and says, "Please sit with me here." And yeah, my name is Orest. I am one of the priests here at the temple. Please sit, eat, and as you see, there's a good amount of food on the table. There's there's bread. There's several different types of fruit, and although as you see, there doesn't seem to be any meat. It seems that the priests here maybe don't eat it, or maybe it's coming out later. You're not sure. But as you all settle down, he says, "Please, if you have any questions, I'm willing to ask, or willing to answer." Sorry.
Why do you call him the Pelor and not just the sun?
Well, Pelor is the embodiment of the sun. Of course, in some ways, the sun is itself the embodiment of Pelor. They are one and the same. He may appear in different forms. As we can always see, he is there in the sky. He gestures to where the sun just went down just a little bit ago. But he has come to the material realm before in the flesh, as it were. A huge being in armor and with a face so bright it can't be looked at by mortal eyes. Quite the appearance, it would seem. Although, of course, the gods no longer visit us here, only sometimes speak to us, sometimes whisper, sometimes grant us some of their power. But that's a long way anyway of telling you that the sun and Pelor are the same. Does that answer your question?
I believe so.
Well, good. That's nice to hear. And did you come all this way to ask this question?
I came to learn about the sun god. Yes. It is a rather self-taught, this one. Maybe needs formal training. The heart is in the right place.
I mean, it depends on what you want, how you want to follow. There are many ways to follow.
And also, I have come with these ones. They are on a mission.
Oh, indeed. What mission are all of you on? And he kind of looks over at the rest of you as you're kind of digging into the food.
With a full mouth of food, Chompa's got to say, "It's kind of complicated.
Long
story.
Isn't life though complicated? That is. We have time. If you have any questions, obviously you are here with your friend for some reason. There are many resources to be had and many secrets to be found here in Vasselheim.
You would like secrets.
Well, I mean, they are secrets that are available, as it were, for those willing to look. In any case, if you would like. Oh, sorry.
I say, we're looking for one aspect of our mission. Let's see how to put this. Curse therapy.
Curse therapy.
Yeah,
okay.
healing.
You might be surprised to know you are not the only ones who come to Vasselheim for such things.
Yes.
Of course, it very much depends on the origin of the curse, the cursing entity, if you will. May I ask if I might be of some help? Who laid this curse on someone? And
The
who is
large
cursed?
one gets angry and talks to their sword.
Oh, that old chestnut. Yes, we've seen things like this
She hit
before.
several of us.
All right. So cursed sword. All right. Looking over at you, Crom. He kind of narrows his eyes and says, "And who have you all ascertained who the cursing entity is?"
Well, her name is Riz. Came from something.
Oblivion, something.
Something to do with the Chained Oblivion. Something. Crom gets confused.
All right. And immediately, Orist kind of sits back a little bit, and his eyes kind of go wide, and says, "The Chained Oblivion. That's not the best. However, now I can see why you are with these people, being a follower of the Sun or Pelor. He is one of the greatest enemies of the Chained Oblivion. It's no wonder you want to help this person."
Yes, and the large one hit me, and it was very painful.
Looking Crom up and down, the priest says, I imagine so. Well, may I have a look at the sword?
Okay. I wouldn't touch it though. I would just look.
They know what they are doing.
What?
They know what they are doing. They have this Swish temple.
Well, I don't need to touch it. If you could just hold it out, please. And as he says this, he kind of stretches out a hand towards the sword and starts looking at it intently, in somewhat the same way that you had seen Usu do in his study when he had kind of identified the problem with the sword. And after a few moments, kind of half closing the eyelids, Orist opens his eyes again, kind of moves away from the sword slightly and takes a deep breath and says, all right then. There is this is not a cursed sword. This is it's like a thread. It feels evil, almost as if the metal itself were somehow tainted. I'm not sure that we could help here. I'm aware that there are those who can. You may need to seek out the followers of the Knowing Mistress, of Ayun. As she, well, being the goddess of knowledge, would know what to do. But, and gesturing back over to you, Zippel, he says, as for following Pelor, there are just a few basic tenets, and that's all you would need to follow. Depending on how you carry it out is up to you, I suppose. Just be ever vigilant
Will
for
I
evil.
be receiving?
Oh, what's that?
Okay. Will I be receiving some kind of paperwork? The
no.
Warmbloods put great deal into paperwork. They love it.
We think it is much more about the attitudes of one's heart and actual actions than it is about anything you may sign.
Yes.
That said, if
But
you were
the-
going to become part of the temple here, you might have to sign some kind of declaration, things like that. But that's up to you.
Crom wants to interrupt,
Yes.
and she has a little scroll she's trying to keep notes on. She's not good at it, but she's trying. What did you say I need to go to? Where?
As you.
The knowing mistress, he said.
The goddess of and just in general knowledge, you recognize the name Ayun in two ways, because the Usu, the priest of the Platinum Dragon, who had kind of set you on this quest a little bit, he had mentioned that Ayun might be able to lift the problem you're having, the curse or whatever it is, the connection to the Chained Oblivion. The other way you recognize it is as part of your quest, as part of why you're here really is to try to find the tears of Ayun. You're not exactly sure what that means. It's just all that's known is that there is a temple of Ayun somewhere near Vasselheim where you might find the tears of Ayun to help make the betrayer shackle. So it's kind of twofold. You would just have to find them.
So, do you know where the temple is?
Orist kind of looks at you and kind of laughs a little and says, no one has seen a temple of Ayun in, well, at least 800 years. The followers of Ayun are generally fairly hidden. They were fairly hunted down during the calamity and almost wiped out, in fact.
That's not a good sign.
She herself was injured during the last battle of the calamity when they locked away the Chained Oblivion and has supposedly been recovering ever since. But it is said that there are followers here in Vasselheim, and she is one of the pantheon of what you might consider the good gods. But it is said that those who are in need of her and seek her out will find her followers. It's just you may need to make yourself known to around town.
What is the situation in town? Because I kind of dragged us away from the only other place we had been to.
Well, I don't. Have you ever been to Vasselheim?
This is the second place I've ever really been.
All right. So no. The city of Vasselheim is broken up into districts. Within those districts, there are major religions that kind of hold sway, as well as some of the smaller religions that are associated with those larger gods, if you will. The leaders of each sect come together to form kind of a council, and that is who oversees the city. Right now, you are in the Abundant Terrace, which is technically run by the followers of Melora, who is the goddess of nature. The temple of Pelor is here because Pelor, being the god of the sun, is also the god of the harvest and growing things. And as you saw walking through, I'm sure, there is many growing things here in the Abundant Terrace. And in fact, between Melora, the goddess of nature, and Pelor, the goddess of the sun, this district is kept much warmer and pleasant than I think the others. There's the Quad Roads district, which I'm assuming you probably came into town through, which is generally run by the followers of Arathis, the goddess of civilization and law, who, rumor has it, is actually in a tempestuous relationship with Melora, the goddess of nature, as they love each other, but of course, civilization and nature don't always get along. Then there's the Braving Grounds, which is run by the followers of the Storm Lord, and the Lord of, some say war, some say bravery, but the Lord of the Storm, for sure. Then there's the Dusk Meadow, which is run by the followers of the Raven Queen. That's where the catacombs are, and her followers are, well, they're different. And then, of course, there's the Silver Talon's Reach, which is near the center, near the mountain. And that is run by the followers of the Platinum Dragon. Does that kind of tell you what's happening here in Vasselheim?
Yeah, that lays it out pretty well. But circling back to those people, the followers in the catacombs.
Yes.
Different. Different? Well, what do you mean different?
Well, how to say this? Each of the religions represented here in Vasselheim, they are all the divine users, you might say, the divine representatives. Of them all, the followers of the Raven Queen, their leaders are generally nameless, and there are generally two of them. They represent the rest of their group, but they sometimes change. Some years they are different than the last, and nobody really knows how that's decided. They're generally more secretive also than the others. Their mistress, of course, being the goddess of death. They're the most secretive, as the veil of death hides all.
Oh, okay.
That's cool.
Metal, yeah.
Metal.
Yeah.
It sounds very cold there.
Well, I mean, it's not warm, but it is the middle of winter, and you are in the northern hemisphere of Exandria.
Kind of sounds like you're blaming me, but
Well, so you came here.
no, it's fine.
Just saying. Okay, just a sec. All right, but back to what I was saying to you about Pelor. And I have to find my notes again.
He is the son, but he also likes to grow things, and he's very good. And
He's quite good, yes. Yes.
he's very big. And you said, I don't need a certificate, although I really think that, once again, the Warmbloods really like to see paperwork. But that's fine.
If you carry out his commands, you'll probably be okay. Just
and
keep an
to
eye out
be
for evil.
Vigilant against the evil, and,
Yes.
you know,
And remember that people are often quick to forget the lessons of the past.
they are very dumb, I agree.
So try to relieve the suffering of the innocent. And deliver the light of Pelor wherever there is darkness. And you do this with kindness and compassion and mercy.
So not like actual light then.
No, it's also the actual light.
Okay,
and as he says this, he kind of snaps his fingers, and in his hand, this bright light appears.
I'm going to do that too. He's not the only one. I cast light.
And
got
oh
a
yes, you have a good start on it already.
Look at that. It's pretty good.
As they do this, it gets very bright at the table, and the rest of you kind of. is there anything else you would like to know about Vasselheim? I gave you an overview very broadly, but there's more here than anyone could experience in a lifetime, they say.
Yeah, because the Warmbloods, they die very easy.
Well, some of us. You are talking, of course, to an elf. We don't die very quickly.
No, I said easy. You could fall and real far.
Yes, I suppose so. In any case, is there anything immediate that you in this party are looking for, other than, of course, followers of Ioun? I'm sorry, I cannot help you there very much. Just know that those who seek knowledge or give knowledge as their goal are often found to be her followers.
Where
Well,
would be a
Yes?
I was so Chomsky's really interested in knowledge. I like the sound of that, and so I guess last time I know we talked about. I think Crom asked about an armorer or a place to buy weapons. Didn't that happen?
Yeah, but there's the merchant area.
We found the merchant area, right?
Did. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm good.
Okay.
I guess I will ask if there is a knowledge center in the town, a library, or a place for arcane learning.
Arcane.
Oh yeah, that's right. This is the divine magic place. But yeah, sure, I'll ask that. Yeah.
Well, there are not many practitioners of the arcane here. However, well, let me see. There is 2 places I would suggest. Oh gosh, I gotta find it. Where is? There is the Cobalt Vault, which is run by the Cobalt Soul. Sorry, I'm having trouble saying things. All right. So it is an archive, which is supposedly one of the world's greatest libraries, run by the monks of the Cobalt Soul here in Vasselheim. Of course, they're very picky about who they allow in. Generally, only those of some type of importance or noble birth or with a special writ of some type are able to actually even look at the books. No one is allowed to take scrolls or books from their libraries. And the monks are quite good at keeping people from doing that. Of course, then there is a well-known book trader here in Vasselheim. Her name is Marjolina, and she owns a business called the Fantastic Cart.
Where does she live or work?
Well, and that's the hard part. The cart moves. It's often in the Quadroads, but it moves all over the city and sometimes outside the walls. Of course, if you ask around a bit, you'll be able to find out generally where it is right now, and you'll know it when you see it.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Yeah, Chomsky has to wipe a little drool off of his chin. That some hasty sounding places.
Are any of us noble birth?
I think Roland's a noble.
I'm a noble.
Yeah.
And you have sticky fingers.
Yes, I do.
You say?
All right. Yes?
No, I don't know.
I did say that.
All right. As the night goes on, answering questions, bringing out food, you do find that these priests apparently don't eat meat. They are vegetarians. But the food that you are provided with is fairly good. There's like roast spaghetti squash and different types of very fragrant and crusty breads, which are soft on the inside, and it's quite lovely. But eventually, as the evening winds down, they offer you a place to sleep. Nothing especially nice. There's a large room where visitors are kind of setting up bedrolls and things like that, and it's warm and it's comfortable. If you would like to stay here for the night.
Yeah, that sounds
Yes, please.
nice.
Mom's okay with it.
It would be
Sounds
very
good.
nice of you.
Mom's okay.
All right. Is there anything anybody would like to do tonight before we go on to tomorrow? Nah? Yeah? No? If there isn't, that's fine. I was just asking.
I'm good.
All right. Okay. So, after a night's rest, and it is fairly restful here. Even sleeping on kind of a bedroll on the ground, you find that it's a very peaceful, contemplative kind of place. Even with the amount of light, even at night, that is in here, as it seems that the light, especially in the main part of the temple, never goes out. Just this bright light kind of permeating into everything, even in the sleeping quarters. There's always some light. But waking up in the morning, you find yourselves well rested, and the day is ahead of you. So, where would you like to start?
Well, I know.
Mom wants to walk around and yell for the followers of IU. I'm just gonna yell for them randomly.
Looking for the followers.
Wherever we go, I'm just gonna yell for them.
Okay. Make a, oh gosh, what would this be? Make a persuasion check. Just in general. Yeah.
6.
6. Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
So walking out into the city, you are currently in a part of the city kind of removed from a lot of the busier parts. Like there are people around, but not a lot, and most of them are going out into the fields to start working again. You do see, as you come out of the temple, past the wall that you're near, one of the interior walls, the ring walls that go around the whole city in different places, you see a huge grove of trees a little ways up the side of the mountain. One in particular in the midst of the grove is huge, maybe 1,000 or more feet tall. And so that's, catches the eye. You can hear, as you are up on a little bit of the slopes of the mountain a bit, you can kind of hear the bustle of the quad roads where you would come in and other parts of the city kind of rising up towards you. So there's definitely already, stuff going on. So you have a lot of places you could go. Where do you want to head to?
I want to go check out the. What's it called?
Try to find the book trader or go to the Cobalt Vault.
The Cobalt Vault.
You're not gonna.
Cobalt Vault. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I figure, and of course, keep an eye out for the book cart.
What about the tree thing?
You said the tree
How far is it?
is that? Yeah, where was that located?
Up on.
I mean, it's a ways. It's a little ways up the slopes of the mountain, kind of rising above the next ring wall.
Oh, and you said that's like towards the mountain.
Yeah, it's up. Well, you're pretty close to the mountain where you ended up last night at the temple here, and it's a ways up the mountain.
Ah.
Kind of on the slopes above you,
I'll put a.
but not too far.
I don't know. We can check that out. Or
Do you?
What do y'all want to do?
Yeah, what's everybody else? What do we think?
I will go to the Cobalt Vault with you. Do you think there will be any spare or sickly kobolds that they would not mind or notice?
Orest, having walked out there with the as he's saying goodbye to you, says, "Oh no, not kobold vault, cobalt, as in the mineral."
Yes, I knew this, of course.
Cobalt.
Yes, they
Maybe
actually
we go look for the books somewhere
that
else.
sounds like a good idea. They actually mine quite a bit of cobalt
No, I don't know.
in the mountain here. If you are interested. In any case, I will see you.
Kobolds?
I'm definitely going with Chomp.
All right.
Yeah, I'll go.
So
with
we're
you.
looking for.
Yeah, I'll go with the
cobalt
group.
vault. The cobalt. Now I'm doing it. Okay.
Cobalt.
So, getting some basic instructions that you have to head toward. There we go. Toward Silver Talon Breach to find the cobalt vault. You're not too far. There are kind of these switchback trails that kind of cross parts of the mountain. That's probably the quickest way, as you don't have to go through the ring walls to get to use them. And it does just so happen that the nearest of these trails seems to go through the grove on the mountain. So kind of two birds with one stone there. Going up into the grove, you see these huge trees. Roland and some of the rest of you actually, but Roland immediately, you recognize these trees as very similar to the trees in Singhorn Forest, where you grew up. The evergreen, but still somehow deciduous trees of the elves. And as you go into this grove, which is pretty good size, they get taller and taller until finally you come to this massive tree rising from, it seems, maybe the center of the grove, with different huts and buildings built into the side of it, going up hundreds of feet. And you start coming across people on the trails going by you that are dressed mostly in browns and greens, and generally they seem very, some of them have antlers strangely coming in from their heads, and they seem fairly druidic. But coming out of the grove along the mountain slope, you're high enough now. As you come out of the grove, you can see most of the city kind of stretched out before you. And you can almost, it's not quite color-coded or anything like that, but looking out from here, you can see the differentiations in the different parts of the city as the architecture changes in places, and the growth of things, of course, changes in places, and things like that. And just even the color palette in some ways between different parts of the city changes. Before too long, you come down past and beneath the Platinum Sanctuary, which is the huge Temple of the Platinum Dragon on the slopes above you in the kind of the middle of the city. and down into Silver Talon's Reach, where you had heard that the Cobalt Vault is. And it doesn't take too much time to find it. It's a fairly good-sized building, although fairly plain, well constructed of stone. And outside of it, it looks like monks with shaved heads. Their robes in dark grays and blues with kind of black sashes around the middle, kind of stand guard outside. They look fairly serious.
Okay, I'm going to make sure I have my spell book out kind of under my arm and my glasses on, maybe some scrolls hanging out, and I'm going to walk up to them
No!
and... What?
No, we're supposed to get Roland to help with that. Because you have to be a noble.
Well, I mean, I was just going to, just stroll up and say,
Whatever.
hello, gentlemen.
Crumb says, whatever.
All right.
Yeah, I'm just going to approach them and address them as respectfully and formally as possible and just say, good morning, gentlemen. Just here to do a bit of research.
Indeed.
Yep,
and one of them
I'll be
looks at the
going
other.
right in now.
And as you are you going to try to walk in?
I mean, not forcefully. I'll just like try to walk in like I belong there.
All right. As you do that, the first one who kind of spoke to you and said "indeed" places a hand on your chest, and you feel a good amount of strength as you kind of just feel like you walked up into something entirely solid as he stops you and says, "I'm sorry. Who are you?" I'm
Lord
the
Science. Yeah.
the name is Chomsky.
This is my hired wizard. We're from the House of Thorani. I am Roland Amakir, and we have come this far to do research.
Indeed. All right. He kind of reaches behind him for a moment and takes out a small pad, flips it open, and kind of scans down it with his finger, and says, I don't see you on the list.
Perhaps we beat our letter. There is a hobgoblin barricade over around Haldori, so we may have beat our emissary here. Poor man.
Well, that is unfortunate. Yes, I'm sorry.
We have come a very long way to do our research.
Yes, who do we need to
is-
speak to?
Well, you are speaking who you need to speak to, and I'm sorry.
Ah.
You're not on the list.
I should be on the list.
Well, shouldn't we all? But you're not.
What would it take to persuade you to put us on the list?
Well,
Our mission is very important, and we have come a very long way. We have escaped the hobgoblin barricade, and we would like to enter your library, please.
I imagine you would.
Don't we have I know at one point we had some papers to enter from a platinum dragon people
Yeah.
but any other insignia or
Does anybody have psychic paper?
I don't.
No? Okay. I think
if I
that's a spell,
remember,
though. I think that's the thing.
you had a writ of something from the leaders of Iman, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, for passage. Yeah.
But yeah. Okay. I'm out of ideas.
Can we ask what it would take to get on the list?
Oh yes, of course. You just simply I need to hear from the High Curator.
Is he inside? We could go speak to him.
She is
Oh.
not here at the moment. She's in Rexingtrum in Wildmount. But she is usually here in Vasselheim at least once or twice a week. Yes, she has dual leadership over the libraries in Rexingtrum and here. However, without a directive from her, no one is allowed in. So, have a nice day.
Oh, okay.
I said good day, sir.
I said good day.
I don't want to fuck with any monks though.
No. I don't plan on trying to force my way in.
Monks are scary.
Well, guys, I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry that I brought us here. Seems to be a waste of time. I guess
Maybe.
we walk back through the hippie forest and
Do
back towards.
Are we near the tree?
Yeah, we walk through the grove.
Can we investigate the tree thing while we're here?
Yeah,
I mean,
sounds-
you had passed through the grove and out and into Silver Talon's reach. You could, walking back, you could. Yeah,
Okay.
go to the tree.
smelled like patchouli.
Something.
All right. So you want to walk back to the tree then. Let me go through here and find out my notes.
Maybe if we find some people involved with Ioun, maybe they can get us hooked up with them.
True.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
you mean hooked up with the Cobalt Soul?
Correct.
Make a history check real quick, Cirthus.
It's a 15 modified.
15. Okay. So you are able to make that connection that you do know that the monks of the Cobalt Soul, in some way anyway, are allied with Ioun. Not all of them are necessarily followers, but because they are keepers of knowledge, they are generally friendly to Ioun. Yes.
But also, we have to just sort of hope to happen upon the followers of Ioun. So we'll just
We'll be back.
continue to call out for them as
Ayu peoples.
So far, nobody has stopped for Crom's calls, although several people have kind of given some side eye. So, walking back along the path you came through on, back up onto the mountain slope a little bit and into the grove, you come back to that huge tree rising in and up. Okay, let me see. I need to find the things. Okay. What would you like to look around at?
I'll stop one of the horned people and ask them if they know anything. Tell them we're looking for the followers of Ioun. While Crum is yelling this like a
Okay.
lost kitty.
So not all the people you walk by have horns. Some do. Some of varying kind of sizes. But one of the ones you do stop says, blessings of Melora Bianyu. I do not know any followers of Ayun. Not that we all don't respect her, but I'm sorry.
Do you know of any good taverns nearby?
You might try the Braven Grounds or the Quad Roads for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so I'm just trying to remember who
Yes.
noticed the tree area. I don't know
also-
what was the significance of that. I don't.
It was
remember.
big.
It's just big.
There's a huge tree, and there's many large trees, but one huge tree specifically in the middle that seems to be kind of the center of activity here in this area.
What time of day is it?
I mean, it's mid-morning. I mean, you spent an hour or two walking over to the I can't remember words again, the Silver Talon's Reach to try to get into the library, but it's not very late.
I'll ask some of the people that they have stopped what the deal with the big tree is.
Okay.
And why do some
Um,
people have horns?
Well, it just depends on one's path with the Wild Mother. It is a symbol for some with the circlet they wear. That they are one with nature. The tree, well, that is the seed of rebirth. It was planted by Melora herself, supposedly. This person
Okay.
seems looking at them like they're probably also elven, fairly quiet and a little bit spacey. All right. But coming back up to the tree, I mean, it is. You see up in its branches that there's small kind of lights. You're not sure from what, in different places, high up in the branches, and it's very calming to be under the kind of the boughs of this tree. All right. Okay. Anyone else?
Are there any elves among you who would know of things going on in the outside world?
I'm afraid I don't, but there could be. The people
Okay.
come from the outside world all the time. Yes. What was that?
Okay. Chrome doesn't like it here. It's too quiet. I want to run to back. How far are we from the quad roads? Not too far.
I mean, you can get there easily enough. You kind of backtracked a little away from it to get back to the tree, actually.
Oh,
But
oops.
this isn't a city the size of Amman. This is a smaller city, and fairly contained as it doesn't go outside of its outside ring wall. You could maybe a half an hour, and you could be over at the Quad Roads.
Does anybody else have anything they want to do, or can we look for this book trader in the merchant area? Yeah, and I want to find a crossbow, I think.
I have a crossbow.
Okay.
I can have it?
I mean, I'm not really using anything. It's only a little one because I'm a small.
I want heavy.
Okay, well, I mean, you would have It's fine.
Thank you.
I will just keep this one then.
That one. That one. Okay.
Okay. So, walking down back to the Quad Roads district where you had come in the night before, you find yourselves. Oh wow, that's loud. Okay. You find yourself in the very much kind of the market feel of this town again, as this is the center of the followers of Arathis, the law bearer. I'm going to use something different. Okay. There's people all around. There's a mass of all kinds of races and species from all over Exandria. And you see all kinds of things for sale, for that matter. Asking around, who wants to lead the search for this book cart?
I'll do it.
All right. Could you roll an investigation check?
$22.
22. Okay, that's pretty good. It doesn't take long before maybe the third person you ask is like, "Oh yes, I saw it over there, just beyond the next ring wall."
All right.
And yeah, walking through the gate in the next ring wall, you almost immediately kind of see over to your right, on blocking most of this rather large road, maybe the biggest wagon you've ever seen.
Wow.
It's the size of a good-sized cottage, with its own roof, and it's being pulled by 6 musk oxes, slowly kind of going down the road. And every once in a while, and as you come up to it, you see somebody kind of step up the step and into a door in the back, and somebody come out and then go back onto the road. It's as if people, they're treating it as a business that just happens to be slowly moving down the street. And it has a little sign over the door that says "The Fantastic Cart, Books and Baubles." Do you go in?
Yeah. Let's go inside.
Definitely.
All right. Getting inside, you see a cozy little bookshop with books just stacked on their sides. No bookshelves, actually. It looks like just on every wall of, the outside walls, as well as kind of stacked precariously, especially with the movement, but somehow not falling over, in the midst of the room in different places, just stacks of books on their sides with the spine out so you can see what each book is. With going up to like a 10-foot ceiling, and it's just all over the place. It's almost like a maze of books in this pretty good-sized room. Kind of wandering through, you eventually come to a small desk with a rather short-looking human woman with graying dark hair brought back in a bun. She's probably in her late 50s. And as you walk up, she says, "Yes, I'm Marjolina. Welcome to my shop. What can I do for you?"
Yeah, this place is pretty cool. So
I can read.
yes, Crom.
Yes, I'm thinking you're here for books.
Yeah. Do you sell anything else?
I mean, we have the occasional knick-knack or item we find that we sell here, but it's mostly just the books.
Yep.
Books.
Yep.
I like books.
Um,
I like picture
Oh, do
books.
you? What?
Picture
She gets
book.
really interested as you say this. You like the picture books? Okay, we have those books. And she kind of pulls a book out. And so this is called The Horse and the Hat. It's it's one of my favorites. And you see this kind of thin book, and it's well illustrated on the front with a horse sitting in a chair with a straw hat on.
Aw. Look at
it's-
this.
it's-
It's funny.
It looks like a nice book.
Funny.
You can read anything you like while you're in here.
Okay.
Please. And she hands you the book to read. And you, sir, what do the rest of you like? We have many books here.
I would have ritual cast detect magic in a place like this.
Just kind of walking around muttering the incantation to yourself. You because it's not big enough really. It's big enough really that you can kind of walk around and not get the whole thing within detect magic, but it's almost small enough for that. You find here. Let me see. Okay. You find faint traces of magic coming from two different books. One is called Noom's Treatise on Dogs. And the other is a book that says Angels of the Sea on it. Yes, each of them seems to, oh gosh, because you can tell the school of magic, can't you?
I believe so, yeah.
All right. I always forget the schools of magic.
There's Hufflepuff
Yes.
and Illusion and Parlor and Upholstery.
Upholstery. That is good. Okay. That doesn't help me. I also need to remember what schools of magic these would be.
No.
Gosh. There we go. All right. They both seem to be some type of simple enchantment. But you don't know exactly what they do. Yes,
I
but
don't
you
get-
can easily enough kind of pick them up. One seems to be Noom's Treatise on Dogs. It seems to be someone's in-depth exploration and observations on dogs. The other, The Angels of the Sea, seems to be a fantastical tale. You're not sure if it's true or not, but about some type of civilization beneath the sea somewhere. Yes. All right. And then looking at you, Chomp, she says, and you, are there any books you're looking for?
I guess, do you have any books on the study of magic?
Well,
Books
let me
about
see.
magic items? Or...
Magic items. Hold on. There was something we got just last week. I'll be right back. She kind of scurries off faster than she looks like she could go. She's a little bit hunched over, but as she gets up out of the chair, her legs she skitters away almost. And about a couple minutes later, she comes back with a good-sized tome of a book and kind of puts it down on the table in front of her and says, "Yes, we got this last week from the trader from Marquette, and it's in fairly good shape." She kind of spins it around towards you so you can see the title on the front, and it says Advancements in Artificing, 3rd edition. It has things to do with magic in it in any case, and the making of items. You look like an intelligent individual with those glasses on. I figured you might like something like this.
Yeah, that sounds right up my alley. I do enjoy making things and magic things.
All right then. Looking through the book, you see that it's in part kind of an overview of artificing in general, the first few chapters, and then it goes into some fairly new advancements in the field. Things like prosthetic limbs or flying machines, or at least small flying toys, things like that. And then theoretically flying machines from that. And as well as bringing the fairly new advancements in gunpowder into artificing and kind of melding magic in with firearms and things like that.
Artillerist. Yeah, cool. What are you like? You're selling these books, I take it?
Oh yes, this is a business. And actually, as you've been kind of looking over these books, and she's been doing like talking to you, there have been several other customers that have asked her questions that she has answered, and she's made at least one other sale while you've been talking to her. She's very multitasking. But yes, I am flexible on prices, but I can tell you that one you're holding is going to be 100 gold. Trade-ins are welcome.
Let's see. How about yeah, so I want to see about the trade-in value for a book that I have called Butcher of Fire.
Butcher of Fire. Could I see it?
Yes, I get it out and I hand it to her. I think it's one we picked up in a bookstore many weeks ago.
All right then. And as she takes it from you, she kind of immediately looks at it, and the first thing she does after looking at it is she puts it up to her nose and just like takes an entire lungful like breath in. Says, "Yes, you're good at keeping the books, obviously." And then she starts flipping through it. I love that smell, by the way. Well, this seems this is actually written by Percival himself. Yes, and as she closes it, this I would say. I mean, this is a business. I have to make a profit off of this in some way. I would say this could take 70 gold off that price.
I can offer several tracts, the religious books on the sun, if that would defray any cost.
I
have written them.
You hand her one of the tracts?
In Common, here is one in Common, and here is one in Draconic, and here is one in Goblin.
As she looks them over, she's like, "Oh yes, your translation. It's fairly nice. However,
So far.
we're not especially in the religious book. You have to understand, in Vesselheim, anybody can find religious tomes most places, but we specialize in things you might not find other places. You understand, though?
Please give them back.
Here you go.
Well, in any
She
case,
hands
yeah,
that back to you.
I will take that offer.
All right, 30 gold, please.
All right, and the book. There we go.
And the book. All right, you have it. Advancements in Artificing, 3rd edition. And you, sir, with the horns, are you looking for? Are you looking to buy those two?
What are the prices?
Well, she kind of looks them over. Noom's Treatise on Dogs, which is a little bit thinner, very in depth on dogs, and it is somehow enchanted. She says, "Oh, but that one is going to be 50. Angels of the Sea. I'm going to be honest with you. We've had that for a while. It's not an especially popular book, but maybe 15 gold. So 65 gold for the pair."
Okay, let me think about it.
All right.
While he's thinking, I would like to ask,
Mhm.
what's her name? Mara?
Her name is Marjalina.
Mardalina, if she knows anything about Ayun or followers of Ayun in that area.
Followers of Ayun. Ayun is not one of those you hear about that much.
I just thought with the
What?
books and the love of knowledge, we're familiar.
What are you looking for a follower of Ayun for?
Well, it's a whole big thing. It's a whole big thing.
All right.
But it is on the up and up.
Make a persuasion check.
I would also like to cast Identify on the dog one to see if I can glean any more information about what it's about.
Okay. You do
I
it
got
as a ritual. Yeah.
I got an 8.
An 8. All right.
An 8.
She kind of looks at you askance a little bit and says, I can't say that I can help you on that.
You can't or you won't.
Exactly. In any case, as this conversation is going on and you cast that Sirthis, you find that Noom's Treatise on Dogs is a treatise on dogs that will allow you to cast Speak with Animals once per long rest.
Aw.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll buy both.
Okay. Did you also, because the other one was magic as well, did you want to include that in your Identify?
I will. I think it would be separate, and I was going to do that later, but
Okay, that's fine.
right now I just wanted to do the one, and then, but yeah, I'll buy both. What was it again?
65 gold
65 for both.
for both. Yeah, for the two of them. Yeah. All right. Having bought your books, Crom, you find that The Horse in the Hat is a fairly heartwarming tale of a horse who just wants to be like his human, and eventually they come to understand each other, and it's
I would like to buy it.
Oh, it's I wrote that myself. It's very.
Can you sign it for me?
And she says, "Yes, I can." And as she signs it, says 2 gold for the book. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good to find someone who enjoys my writing. I've been trying to get published. It's kind of hard. But in any case, I'm glad you find your books well. Is there anything else we can do for you today here at the the fantastic cart. As the whole place this whole time has been slowly kind of swaying as it goes down the street. You're not sure who's driving the oxen, but no books have fallen over somehow.
I guess as we're leaving in sort of a hushed tone, or I kind of ask her, so have you ever been inside of the Cobalt Vault?
Oh, like they would let one like me in there? No, not in a vault. No.
So you don't have any way of getting inside.
No, unfortunately, they're not. They're pretty stingy with allowing the people in there. You have to understand. They collect the knowledge. They don't give it out very much.
I want to go fight things. Crom wants to go to the people, the monster hunter people, the creature hunter.
The people at the Slayer's Take.
Yeah.
Hey, Sean, your mic's on. Just letting you know. It's crunchy. Okay.
Vanessa.
Vanessa at the Slayer's Take, yes. So,
I put hearts on.
leaving the fantastic cart, you kind of, it takes a second. It's because it was almost hard to remember that it was moving, except for the slight swaying. As you open the door and kind of step down onto the ground, the first of you kind of stumble a little bit, but it's not too bad. And you find that you're at a slightly different part of the street than you had originally been. You spent a good amount of time in there, maybe half an hour or so. You're not exactly sure where you are in relation to the Slayer's Take, although you know that is also in the Quad Roads district.
Okay.
But yeah, so make a oh gosh. Make an investigation check to see if you can orient yourself.
Oh, I'm not good at investigations. 10. Yeah. I do have like what you call it? My racial, was it racial or far wonder? My background?
It's your background. Yeah, that's right. Okay, I would say you could do it at advantage then.
Cool. Okay, 10 still.
Okay. So walking around for a while, in this part of the Quad Roads anyway, you don't see anything familiar. Although you do eventually remember that it was fairly close to the first entrance, and you are a ways into the city right now, so you'll probably have to walk towards the outer ring of the city. So walking through to the outer ring, it takes you the better part of, because you looked around for a while and things like that, it's mid-afternoon before you find your way to the outer ring of the city, and once you're in the outer ring, the Slayer's Take is maybe the biggest of the guild halls in this part of the city, and so it's easy enough to see once you get there. Even if it does take a while to find it. Walking up, you find nobody out on the porch as you had found earlier the day before, but the door is open, and there are some voices coming from inside.
Okay. I want to go in. So I'm gonna let the group know what I'm planning on trying to do. Either join the guild, or if they have a bounty that we can do.
Yeah, they offered some side mission style.
Side quests. Yeah. Okay. Are y'all cool with that?
I've been looking through the book. I'm just kind of like, yeah, sure.
Is that the only reason you want to go in?
Maybe.
is it not to acquire a mate with the other one?
Oh, I got her! And I giggle a lot.
I don't think I've ever seen Crom blush.
The large one is scarier when they giggle.
All right, everybody good with going in?
Yeah.
You're not going to do anything to impress the mate?
Oh,
I don't know what the warm blood's like.
maybe.
I would
Okay,
think-
I'm gonna do some push-ups and get my pecs and stuff like all flexing. Yeah. I'll
Okay.
do that. I'll do that.
So, a
You're
quick
looking out,
50
bro.
push-ups. And kind of, throwing the shoulders back a little bit, getting pumped. All right, and the group, you being led by Crom, you walk into the Slayer's Take, and you find, like I said, had described it last time, it looks very similar to a large, kind of oversized, like country hunting lodge. And on the inside, that continues. As you walk in, you see it's mostly one large room. It goes up about 3 stories with kind of these balconies looking out onto the one large room. And on many of the walls and columns and things, there are mounted heads and claws of many creatures, some of which you, a lot of which you recognize, some of which you have no idea where it came from, and just strange looking things. And there's several kind of seating areas with these oil lamps lighting them. There's not a lot of windows into the place, but there's several groups of people around. And yes, make a quick perception check, Crom.
Um, 18.
18. All right. So quickly enough, even with a little bit of the low lighting, you are able to find Vanessa. She's sitting along with a halfling. This halfling having kind of reddish hair and some scars on his face. And they seem to be having a jovial conversation, sitting down around a small table with some chairs, some comfy looking chairs and couches around it. And as you come over, she smiles up at you and stands to greet you and says, "Yes, my friends, you are back. It is so good to see you." And she shakes all of your hands very warmly with both hands as you come up. It's very nice to see all of you. May I introduce you all to my husband, Merton.
Oh,
She gestures to the halfling,
Oh.
and who stands up. The only one he's taller than is Chomp in the group, and he goes up and asks or shakes all of your hands. Crom, you last, and as he shakes your hand, he says, "Vanessa's been telling me a lot about you. It's very nice to meet you."
yeah.
In any case, and Vanessa says, "Yes. Well, you seemed very interesting. In any case, please have a seat. What can we do for you? Are you here to maybe join?"
Yeah. I want to join, and me and my friends, we need a little bit of action, so we were hoping that we could hunt something. Do you have a bounty or?
Well, we have some bounties available at the moment. However, they are only for initiates of the guild.
Yeah.
However, if you're looking to join,
Yeah.
part of the process of joining is proving that you can take care of a bounty. So, would all of you be interested?
In joining?
Yes. I mean, there would be no. You would. There would be no. There's no forced labor here in our guild, of course. If you want a contract, you can have it. It's just if you are going to be in the area of Vasselheim or northern Isilra in general, and you are going to be taking profit from killing animals, we ask that you be part of the guild.
Yeah.
And you also, there's a small cut of 2% that is taken from each bounty that is given to the guild as a tax, of course.
That sounds fair.
I mean, I'm down with doing it if for nothing else to support my friend Crom.
All right.
I
we
will
also.
do the group's wishes.
All right.
I'm in.
All right. And you, the reddish gentleman there. We have to have everybody's consent for this.
I'm gonna have to decline.
Oh, all right. Well, it's too bad. It's always nice to have another of the brethren here, but may I ask why?
Doesn't interest me.
All right.
I have a lot on my plate.
Fair enough. In any case, you are of course free to come along with your friends, but we ask that if you all do take a bounty in the area, then there will have to be negotiations about payment for your friend here. Of course, that is. In any case. Would you like to hear about the initiation bounty that there is available for you right now?
Yes, please.
Okay. Somewhere just a ways, maybe a day's travel outside of Vasselheim. It has been... Whoops. Where is... There it is. It has been reported that several elementals have been making trouble. A small homestead was burned or destroyed in any case. We're not sure on the type of elementals that are there. However, from descriptions that we're giving, we're assuming some type of earth or fire elemental. In any case, they need to be tracked down and brought in, as it were. As we can't have them out there burning homesteads, cottages, things like that. Would you be interested?
Yeah. Do we bring them in alive?
Oh, in this case, you can try. Generally, things that have crossed over from an elemental plane, a little grumpy, may not be willing to listen. Most of them don't speak common. There's also that.
Oh, okay.
So we
But,
bring
I
in
mean,
we bring in a body.
I mean, if they have one.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of wondering.
Cool.
How
Let's
would
just say
one-
we have no ways of knowing if a contract has been fulfilled.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Any idea why they're here?
That we're not sure about. We've only had reports and not many.
I
I'm
mean,
sorry, what was that?
how many of us are going on this hunt? 4, 5?
Well, I'd assume
One
all
of
of you
the-
would be going. I know your
Yeah.
friend had said he was not interested, but that's all up to you.
I'll be tagging along. Yes.
All right. We are not sure how many elementals there are, of course, but that is part of the nature of the gig, as they say.
Okay.
They do say that.
Yep. I've heard it.
They do. I do.
Who are they?
In any case, upon completion of this bounty, you will be inducted into the order of our guild and told the basic passwords, be given access to the armory, as well as several other secrets of the trade, things like that.
Cool. Yay.
Secret handshake.
Yes, that indeed, that kind of thing.
Decoder ring?
Decoder ring, only if you're getting it from cereal, I guess? I'm not sure.
Okay, that sounds awesome.
All right. Here are basic instructions to get to the area. Be aware you might have to hunt outside of the area. It depends on if they have stayed local, as it were. We ask that it be completed within 3 days as part of your initiation period. Time can be of the essence with these things, especially with raiding monsters and such.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Awesome.
All right.
Deal.
And you're off, please. And she hands you a small envelope with a seal on it. Inside, you find the basic instructions leaving the city to the west and kind of through the forest for a little less than a day's travel. There's several small villages and homesteads out in that area, one of which is the one that was destroyed. All right. So, having gotten a bounty to fill, there's also, I should say, a payment voucher in the envelope that says that upon completion, the payment is 300 gold. It can be claimed at the Slayer's Take headquarters here in Vasselheim.
Cool.
All right. What would the group like to do? We going after the elementals?
That's what Crom would like to do. I think the other main thing is to try to find the Ioun followers.
But that's something that we can't really do directly.
Yeah. But I was just recapping what, the main things.
Oh, I guess we could, the people that we have come in contact with, like the guild, let it be known that we are looking for the followers of Ioun.
Yeah.
Just sort of dropping breadcrumbs for them to pick up.
Okay, I can mention it to them. Can I mention that to Vanessa before we leave?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Yeah, mentioning that to Vanessa, she smiles and says, I will certainly keep an eye out.
Thank you.
Or an ear to the ground, one of those things. All right. Yes.
We may also, instead of trying to find someone, a follower of Ioun, to maybe get us to hook up with the Cobalt Soul or Cobalt, whatever the hell it is. But we may need the Cobalt people to hook us up with Ioun.
That's true. There are several kind of circling things here. There's different. You find yourself, realizing there's different ways that you could find your way. It's just you're not sure how to open the ways, especially with the Cobalt Soul right now. All right, so making your way out of the Slayer's Take, you find yourself back in the city. Are you going to immediately take off on your trip? You have 3 days from right now to take care of this. It's going to take most of a day of travel to get there, most of a day of travel, you assume, to get back, leaving you 2 nights and a whole day to find and take care of the elementals.
Oh, is there a do we know of a teleportation circle in town?
You do not, although you weren't able to teleport here from Singorn.
Right.
Yeah, because you were told that there was no way to teleport in. Yes. But you're not. I mean, there are such things as closed off teleportation circles, or that you're aware of that are keyed and things like that. So you don't know for sure.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
If
Also,
anything, they know about it in the Cobalt Vault and they won't let us in.
They probably. What was that, Sean?
I was gonna say, this might mess up your plans with the whole bounty thing, but I would like to make an attempt to communicate with the elementals, because it's just really strange, just random elementals messing crap up. I'm thinking that, they're being used by something else, and that's great, the service that they're doing with this bounty, but that doesn't find out why they're doing what they're doing.
Well, I guess once we find out what kind of, because we don't even know what kind of elemental it is necessarily. I think they said it might be earth or fire or something. Find out what kind of elemental it is and then see what we can determine about their motives. I don't know. Yeah.
All right.
I feel like maybe we could give it a beat to do that when we come across them.
Can somebody do like an Arcana check? Would it be Arcana? What they know about elementals? Do y'all know anything?
Yeah, if somebody wants to do a check.
Yeah, I will see. What kind of check would it be?
It's gonna be. Let's do an Arcana check. Yeah, let's do an Arcana check.
Oh yeah. That's a 26.
26. Okay.
Yep.
And what exactly are you trying to remember?
I guess about elementals specifically, times when elementals are doing this thing that they're being accused of doing, like
Okay.
like why would elementals be, fucking up a city or a village?
Yeah.
Be summoning.
Okay. So with that roll, I mean, you do know somewhat about elementals. There's several different ways they can end up here in the material plane. So either somebody or something opened up a portal or a rift between planes because they are not native to the material plane. They come from either one of the elemental planes like fire, or the plane of earth, or the plane of water, or the plane of air. But they can also be summoned by certain users of divine or arcane magic. Just depends on what exactly they've studied and whether they're powerful enough to do so. Usually, if they are in the plane of the material here, the same, the prime plane that you're in, it's not comfortable for them, as it is not their home plane, and so they even if they haven't been brought here and commanded to attack something, they can sometimes lash out because, yeah, it just doesn't feel good to be here. So all that to say, there's several ways it could be. There's several reasons they could be attacking people.
Yeah, Chrome doesn't really care why they're there. They just want them to die. And I guess if we find out who summoned them, they can die too, and that's cool. I'm on a mission.
Roland agrees with Crumb.
All right.
Looking over the, I guess the paper that we got from the guild about the bounty. Are there specifics about how we, like, does it specifically say we have to kill the thing or just stop the thing, or?
I would think kill.
I mean, it doesn't say specifically, as Vanessa explained it to you, and as the bounty is written, you don't have to kill.
Or banish.
Right.
It's either neutral. It says neutralize is what
Okay.
it says. So whether that means banishing it back to its own plane, or killing it, or talking sense into it, whatever you choose to do, as long as it's neutral, as long as the threat is neutralized, is what it asks for.
Cool.
Okay.
Do you have a spell that banishes?
I do have a spell that could be very useful here.
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Up to
So
you, Ed.
unless anybody has any other business to attend to in the city right now, because you are going to be coming back.
Okay.
But would you all like to head out, and because you still have at least, you know, it's only about mid-afternoon, so you have at least a few hours to get a head start, or you could start in the morning, but you do have 3 days from now.
I don't know.
I'm ready, but it depends on.
Yeah, Roland, what do you
Hi ho, let's go. Shoot him in the back now.
Woo.
what does Zippel think?
He is fine either way. He doesn't mind going out
Okay.
currently, right now. Or if she wants to take another 10 minutes to see if she can find that crossbow, also an option.
Yeah.
If you can find the crossbow.
Yeah. Can I do a perception to see if I can see a place that might have a crossbow in the merchant district?
Yeah, just walking around some of the shops here. Roll a perception check to see what you see as you're walking through.
A 9.
Okay. I mean, maybe it's just because the area of town you're walking through, but you don't see any serious armor shops here. There's a couple places that, like, they sell some, like, pocket crossbows for self-defense, things like that, but yeah, no heavy crossbows for sure.
Can I ask one of the merchants that I did find? Can I just ask if they know of anywhere?
Yeah, sure. Ask him the one you find. He's a kind of a he's got a stall. He sells like small blades and the little crossbows like I was talking about. He's human. He says, well, you'd see, I'm not really sure, but I imagine somewhere, over by the Braven Grounds or something like that. They tend to be in that part of the city. They tend to be into the warfare and such.
Okay, cool. Which direction is that? Can you point?
He points kind of towards the west, towards the part of town that seems to have at least one good-sized like stadium in it, like a big arena, which you can follow around. You can follow the road around too, and you are going west out of the city. as well.
Okay.
So you will pass through this area.
Great.
All right. I mean, for the sake of brevity, we could say passing through, you do see several armorers. Takes you a little bit to find somewhere that sells a heavy crossbow, but you eventually do.
Yay!
It's nothing magical, just a basic heavy crossbow.
All
And
I
it
need.
will cost you about 60 gold pieces.
Okay, cool.
All right, and it does come with a few bolts. Let's say a dozen bolts.
Okay.
Okay, so moving west, finally out of the city, you do cross through the Dusk Meadow and just past the catacombs. It's a huge. It looks like cemetery with tombs and crypts, and it's all very well kept. Everything in this part of the city is fairly quiet, as if like newly fallen snow had fallen and everything is dampening the sound. Most of the people don't talk a whole lot. There's slight murmurings from groups of people as you walk along in the Dusk Meadow. It's definitely, it's somewhere between emo and metal, depending on which corner you can come around. But eventually making your way through the western gate of the city and out once more into the snowy landscape. The wind, finally, you're feeling it again as you come outside the walls. It's definitely chilly. And the rest of you, except for Crom, kind of pull your oversized coats around you again, sometimes doubled up. You're able to make it a few miles before the sun goes down for the day. And you are in the midst of this pine forest, snowy, frozen landscape. And I'm guessing you want to put up the dome and keep an eye out for the night?
Yes, quickly, because it is getting cold.
It is getting quite cold. As soon as the sun goes down, the temperature starts to drop well below. It was below freezing, just below freezing, as you came out into this landscape. As the sun goes down, it drops well below freezing, and you see that your lizard folk friend Zippel is getting quite sluggish. So yeah, putting up the dome with a 10-minute incantation, you all go into it. It's quite a bit more warm and fairly humid at this point, because as the warmth melts the frozen ground underneath of it, once again it starts to get fairly steamy.
It is beautiful.
Cirthus, I'm guessing you're going to keep an eye out with Casilda if you'd like to make a quick perception check with her modifier.
One moment. Eight. Oh wait. Hold on. 12. If it has to do with hearing or sight.
Or sight. Okay. Flying, as you relax, not sleeping, but relaxing at least in the dome for the night, your eyes kind of glazed over with slight film as you watch through her eyes. You find she doesn't see a whole lot. A large bear at one point wanders through, white in color, but doesn't get too near to the dome, and just kind of sniffing along the tracks and then off into the woods. And of course, there's several other owls out and about that she sees, but nothing of the immediate threat. But once again, in the morning, as the sun comes up, the dome fades, and just like before along the coast, the frost that had gathered over the top of the dome with the warmth inside of it, kind of making frozen condensation, immediately kind of shatters as the dome comes away, and you all are sprinkled with this kind of mist of ice sprinkles. It definitely wakes you up. Moving on through the day, it's about, well, who wants to, I mean, you're on a road. Does anybody want to keep an eye out over the course of the day traveling, or?
Yeah, Crom will lead and keep an eye out.
Yeah, roll a perception check.
I'm imagining Crom is loving this.
Yep, Crom loves it. 21.
All right. 21, keeping an eye out. You don't see a whole lot. Like it's the middle of winter. Most animals that usually might be out and about during the day, they're hibernating or maybe they've migrated. It's quiet out. The occasional call of a bird, sometimes distant, sometimes closer. At one point, you see tracks of a good-sized bear, although you don't see the bear itself, just crossing over the road you're on. But eventually, a little after noon,
Once we get there.
you see smoke on the horizon. Just kind of one kind of small column of smoke trailing off slightly to the north of where the road seems to be leading you. As you get closer, you see that it's kind of a darker color, not the nice kind of cheery white and gray wood smoke of a nice campfire or something like that, but the kind of mixed grays and blacks of different types of things burning. As eventually you come nearer and nearer, you realize that it's from something maybe a half mile distant off of the road that you're on. What would you like to do?
I vote we go in the woods and explore it.
Maybe. Should we go talk to the people whose homes are being burned? Maybe we could find something out there, or do y'all want to just go? I wouldn't know which way to go other than the way the smoke is.
No, the fire is probably the way we need to go.
Cool.
I think we should go to the fire.
Okay.
All right.
At
Seems
least
that
it'll be warm.
Everybody is, then you'll be warm, yes. Everybody's thinking fire? Okay. All right. Do you want to be stealthy about it, or are we just going to tramp through the woods?
I guess stealthy would be better.
Yeah, I'm going with stealth.
As stealthy as I can be.
Yes. Could everybody roll a stealth check?
Oh, fuck. Yeah, mine's pretty bad. A 3.
I got a 3.
16.
All right.
I got a 7.
1.
7 and 1. Oh my, this is the worst stealth check I've ever heard. Well, Roland, you got an okay, but everybody seems to be dragging you down. As you're going through the snowy landscape off trail here, you find that the snow itself has kind of this grimy like crust over it, as it hasn't snowed in a while, and maybe there's been days warm enough where it melted a little bit, but then refroze. And as you start to step out, you realize it's maybe a couple feet deep. And every time each of you is stepping, you're just crunching through. So you're not able to be extremely stealthy. And in fact, because of the snow and ice, it also takes you longer to get where you're going. So to go a half mile, it takes the better part of 40 minutes. Trying to stealth, but each step being just like painfully loud. But as you get nearer to the smoke, you see what looks like it could have been the walls of what might have been a small cottage. Some bare trees around it, a couple pine trees, but mostly it looks like some kind of deciduous tree this time of year with no leaves on it, just the naked branches kind of reaching out towards the sky. The smoke seems to be coming from maybe the smoldering remains of what used to be the roof and timbers of this partially stone cottage. The stone parts of the walls are still up, but other than that, it looks pretty ruined. And you see some type of movement from inside the cottage.
I'm going to attempt, before we get too close, to cast Comprehend Languages.
Okay.
Ritual, so
So you take a few minutes.
yeah. And
And how long does it last?
An hour. An hour.
Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so you take a few minutes, you cast the spell, and you kind of feel it settle over you. Although nothing else is speaking any other languages right now, you feel like you could understand them. All right. As you ready yourselves, is there anything anybody else wants to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull my mace and my shield out because I don't know that I fully trust whatever is moving in the house, and it's better safe than sorry.
All right. Okay. As you all readying yourself, you see whatever was moving inside begins to exit just this large hole that's in the side of the walls they're still standing. And as it does, you see a maybe 15-foot tall, vaguely humanoid figure in browns and grays, with large oversized shoulders and just a tiny little head on the front. It seems to, in its what might be a hand, holding one of the stones of the stone wall, and as it steps out, it's bringing it up to what you assume is its mouth, and you hear a loud cracking sound, and then something like gravel being chewed. It just from things you've heard, or maybe things you've seen, you assume this is probably an earth elemental. And it doesn't, well, actually, let me see. No, it doesn't seem to have seen all of you at the moment because, well, it also rolled very low. All right. How would you like to go about this?
I'd like to fire an arrow at it.
Well, I say Surthus said that he wanted to try to communicate with it, so we would be losing any sort of element of surprise, I guess, but we could give Surthus like a shot.
Be bait. Yeah, you could be our bait and go try to talk to it, and we'll get in position.
Oh yeah. Surthus can go talk to it, and we can be the opposite side of it. And if things go sideways, we attack from behind. I don't know.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's actually, I was going to go alone, but activating my belt first.
Okay. So you can get out of there quick.
Yeah. So I'm going to kind of, I guess, move forward, but off to the side so that it doesn't look like I originated from where my rest of my party is. And once I get close enough that I feel that I can speak to it, I will try to speak to it and ask it what it's doing here.
Okay. So you kind of skirting around the edge of this kind of clearing with the trees above you. There's some cover, and you're able to kind kind of crunch along. As it's crunching its food, it can't hear you, as it seems to be just eating rocks. But eventually making its way up, asking, "What are you doing here?" The moment it hears you speak, its head kind of, its whole body kind of snaps around, as its head really can't move without moving its whole upper body. And it takes a couple kind of shuffling, large, just thunderous kind of steps over towards you. And what do elementals speak? I can't even remember. Yes. And in this kind of grating, like you can hear what its voice actually sounds like. It sounds like rocks moving together and this deep rumble that sounds like it could have come from deep in the earth somewhere. But you understand it to be, I'm eating. What does it look like I'm doing?
How did you get here?
It kind of takes another bite, and through its mouthful, it's like, there was a door. I came through. I don't especially like it, but can't find my way back.
Would you like to show us the door? Oh, hold on. I wouldn't be that dumb. I don't think. Would you like to show me the door?
Are you going to say that?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, okay. That's right, me, not us. So he kind of looks at you. Make a persuasion check real quick.
I say to the rest of the group, I whisper, how do you think it's going? Oh, you guys, I can't tell. Should we attack? When should we attack?
I think that you should try your banishment spell.
Well, duh.
Okay then, why are you asking?
16 modified.
Okay.
Get in there.
Wait until he tries to kill him.
Okay, he looks at you, and as he looks at you, you see his. Sorry, what was that?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Okay. As he looks at you, you see his eyes kind of flash with a little bit of this kind of greenish light, and you see that his eyes might be made of some kind of gemstone, green in color. And as he takes another step towards you, he kind of grunts, and he turns and kind of gestures and goes around the corner of the house, or what used to be a house. Do you follow him?
Keeping distance, yes.
Okay. So coming over, so you can see around the corner, keeping your distance, you see what can only be described as, it looks like some kind of fiery tear in the ground. The edges on the seams of it seem to be moving slightly, and this red glow is coming out from inside of it. And as he comes near it, you see a little bit of what looks like it could be some kind of electrical or some kind of lightning spark. And as he kind of reaches out towards it a little bit, the spark jumps out at his hand, and he kind of stumbles back. And then he looks at you and says, "Can't go through."
That's a problem. Do you any idea if have you seen any other of your kind come through here?
He kind of shakes his head the amount he can actually move his head. His whole body kind of shakes, but yeah.
All right. So are we in a mountainous area?
I mean, it's in the kind of the foothills of the mountain range. That Heaven's Stair, the big mountain in the middle of Vasselheim, is the first mountain of. You can see the mountains off to your north as they kind of travel northwest. But this is the foothills of that. So it's hilly.
So I don't know. I suggest to it that places like this, like buildings, I don't know if he understands what buildings are and all that stuff. You might want to avoid that. You should head further into the mountains. There may be more food. And that by disturbing like houses and destroying this and eating this is going to bring harm upon him. Make
a persuasion check.
It's a 9.
9. It's like the rocks on its brow kind of furrow as you say this, and it just once again kind of shakes its head and says, "No. Food." And it starts to go back up to the side of the building and kind of grasp one of the stones and tears it off.
I turn my ring of communication and say, what's the story, Sirthis? How's it going over there?
How far away am I?
From them, you're probably good 60 feet from them, 70 feet.
Okay. Wait, I don't think I have a ring of communication anymore. Or unless we got it back. No, because I think I needed to unattune for something else.
Oh,
I don't know. We need to figure out because it's been traded around so many. They've been traded around so many times. I don't know who actually has one. But in any
okay,
case,
so I might not get an answer back, but
you might not. Yeah.
Roland just looks at you, Chomp, and says, "Why are you talking to me?"
Sorry, yeah, wrong channel.
All right.
Well,
as you're standing there, he's the elemental starts eating a rock again and starts to move back towards the inside of the house.
Okay, well, I'll just start walking away, but I'll reiterate that he's going to get himself hurt if it continues doing what it's doing, and I just walk away. I'm not going to try to convince him.
He tosses the rock after you.
Ah,
A good-sized chunk of rock. It sails just over your shoulder. It doesn't hit you. He rolled a 1, but and then kind of lands a few feet in front of you as you're walking away.
Whoa, that's the sign. Yeah, I'm gonna. I guess we're probably within 60 feet, or if I have to run forward a little bit.
I mean, you're around 60 to 70 feet away, so you might have to run forward a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna get within 60 feet and cast banishment, or roll initiative, or whatever we need to do.
Well, I mean, this is the first action. After this, we'd have to roll initiative. But yeah, go ahead and roll. Go ahead and cast banishment. What is the DC?
So it's a charisma saving throw of 17.
Gosh, all right. And he fails. Okay. So as you kind of run forward, and he doesn't even see you yet, but and you cast banishment, he gets this look on his face and he just seems to suck back into nothing.
Bye.
And there's this kind of pop sound, And you have to wait, what, 60 seconds?
Yeah, it lasts for a minute, and if it lasts for the whole minute, then he gone.
Okay. As you cast it and he disappears, the landscape here is left strangely silent. But
That was
you do hear kind of a crackling start to happen from inside the house.
uh-oh.
And you see the smoke start to billow out more, and suddenly you see a flash of flame behind Cirthus.
Oh.
As it looks like kind of a humanoid form within flame kind of leaps out, about 10 feet
Would
tall.
I have
Was that?
Would I have time to cast banishment before we need to go into initiative?
At this point, no. Roll initiative. Yeah.
17.
17. All right. Who was that? Was that Tom?
Yeah.
All right.
9 for Surface.
9 for Cirthus. All right. what else
7
we
for
got?
Roland.
Oh gosh. 7 for Roland.
7 for Chomsky also.
Okay. What about Crom?
17.
17. What's your dex?
13.
Zippo, what's your dex?
8.
All right.
20.
I thought I had the lowest dex.
No, apparently not. Okay, Crom.
An 8 with a
as
negative
this-
1.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Crom, as this fire being seems to jump out of the thing, well, the building behind you. Give me a second. Or behind Cirthus. Okay, sorry about that. Let's see if I can get this to work. Yes, it works. Okay. What do you want to do? At the moment,
Okay,
you're about 50 feet or so away from this thing.
Yeah. Well, I can try. I will try to. Okay.
Got enough action. Wanted damage to get.
Okay, I'll actually I don't I was gonna try to use my crossbow.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna use the crossbow.
Okay.
So I'm like how far away?
It's about, from you right now, 50 feet.
Okay. I'm just gonna go forward like 30 feet
Okay.
and fuck. The one.
Run
Sorry.
up.
New crossbow.
A 1. All right. As you shoot off the crossbow, and it kind of the recoil of it, you weren't ready for. New crossbow, and it goes wide and hits one of the stone walls and kind of shatters.
Oh. Okay, I will
Yes.
try again. Try again.
Okay.
9.
9. I don't think hits.
Yeah.
No, it
Okay.
does not hit.
All right.
No, and the second one, as you're just kind of panically trying to reload and shoot as fast as you can, just goes wide again.
Crom likes melee.
Yes, indeed. Okay. Zippo.
Zpil is going to look at this being a fire and kind of try to put 2 and 2 together. He will cast
Okay.
command and tell the being a fire to suffocate in the hopes that it'll put itself out.
Okay.
So he has to make a
Interesting.
wisdom saving throw.
Yeah, I was looking at the. Okay. He makes a wisdom saving throw. What's the DC?
17.
Okay, he fails. However, as you say it, he looks over at you uncomprehendingly.
Oh,
As
means
he has to be able to understand you, and he
Yeah.
does not speak common.
stupid.
Okay. It is now the fire elemental's turn. Crom, seeing you try to shoot with it, races over to you. And as it comes near you, it seems to almost like flow over the ground as the fire's kind of wrapping around it. And as it comes near, you can feel the heat coming off of it. It takes one swipe at you first.
Hey, Tim.
Where is... Yeah.
Tim, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Zpil's going to snap his claws, and there's going to be a bright flash of light. And I'm going to use my first improved warding flare to give disadvantage on the attacks.
Okay. You can do that.
I can.
All right, so he's got disadvantage. Okay, so his first attack at disadvantage. Okay. Oof. That is a 16 to hit. Is that hit, Crom?
No.
All
No.
right. So as he comes across trying to hit you, you feel the heat of the flames, but for whatever reason, it suddenly seems that it can't quite concentrate enough to actually hit, and comes across then with its second arm, and that is a 10 to hit. So that does not hit either.
Correct. And these are melee attacks he's doing? It's not magic.
They are melee attacks. He's just, it's his hands, and he's just
Yeah.
trying to swipe across you with
He's
fire.
made of fire. Okay.
How long does that effect last, Tom?
It's, I think, just on the attack. But I
All right,
have,
is it just on one? What's it called again? Sorry.
it's improved flare. So it's the warding flare, which is divine light. Imposes disadvantage on the attack roll before the attack hits or misses.
Okay, so that was only on the first attack then.
Yeah.
All right, so let me re-roll that second attack then. That's a natural 20. Okay.
Oh.
So that does hit. And
How large is this thing?
Oh, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah.
I my end froze for a minute. All right, so second attack. Let me see. Don't die. So it hit, and so. And... All right, so you take 12 fire damage, Crom, and you are now on fire. All right, cool. And that's the end of its turn. Cirthus, you're up. It's pretty close to you right now.
Can I yell, help me?
You can, yes.
Okay, I'm gonna say, ow, help me, get this fire off of me, please.
Okay.
As your reaction, I will allow that, yes. All right,
Going
Cirthus, you're up.
Yeah. I'm not sure exactly how the battlefield layout is, but I'm going to attempt to, like if is it facing towards me?
It's facing. So it's facing Crom, who is pretty much right next to you, as
Okay.
she raced out to try to fire at it, and then it raced up to her. It's real close to you. Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna make an attempt to. I don't know if there's anything, but I'm going to try to Misty Step, like directly behind it, to try to confuse
Okay.
its awareness, and of course, be ready to hide behind, preferably near something I could hide behind. But I'm also going to try to use Control Flame and see if I can extinguish the fire on Crom.
Oh, okay. So Misty Stepping. Misty Stepping directly behind it, you're kind of half obscured by the wall. And you are now opposite of Crom. So actually now you do have flanking, both of you. But you said you were going to control flames on Crom?
Correct.
Okay, so Crom, suddenly as you know, a puff of pink smoke, Cirthus disappears and seems to reappear in another puff within the structure behind the flame elemental. You feel the flames on yourself suddenly kind of shrink and die down. And you are no longer on fire.
Thank you.
Okay. Roland, you are up.
I'm going to use my blazing longbow so that he can't catch my arrow on fire. It's already on fire. And
Okay.
unnatural 20 to hit.
Natural 20?
No, unnatural. I made it
Unnatural,
modified.
Okay. Modified 20. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Let me see something here then. All right, that hits definitely. Roll
All right.
for damage.
And I'm going to do
What
a
is the-
sneak attack too, since he's got opponent.
Yep. Awesome.
And I get, let's see, I've got to roll 1d6 again, but that's 14, 19, 22, 26. Whoops, dropped the dice. And a 6 would be 30 damage.
6 will be 30 damage. All right. As the arrowhead bursts into flame as you're releasing it, and it slams in. And does that include the fire damage from?
Yeah.
Okay. How much was fire damage?
Oh God, I've already taken my dice down.
I'm sorry. I should have asked.
I don't remember, honestly.
I think you
All
said
right.
it was 83.
All right.
Yeah, I
let's
heard
see here.
83 also. All right, yep.
Obviously. We'll say because it was 30 damage altogether, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Because we can't remember which of those was, could you roll? Because you rolled a d10 for the fire damage, right?
Yeah.
Roll a d10.
0.
So
that's
wait,
10.
that's 10. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Cool.
So for the sake of this, we're gonna say as it slams in, it does seem to take some damage, but the fire seems to just join the fire of the elemental. Yes. Okay. And then Chomp, you are up.
I'm gonna cast banishment.
Okay. It's a charisma saving throw?
It's a charisma of 17.
17. Gosh, these things have such bad charisma. And that's a natural 1.
Yeah.
Bye.
However, yes, it disappears in much the same way as it goes, and it disappears. But banishment being concentration, and it's not a minute yet since you banished the other one,
Oh no.
Wait. Oh.
pops up
Yeah.
right, almost not in exactly the same place, but kind of slightly to the side of and behind Cirithus. This earth elemental raging and just this roar of rocks grinding together just appears next to Cirithus. Let me roll some initiative for it.
Oops.
Oh, yes, and as it does, Cirithus, it sees you and it takes a swing at you. Because it's actually now next up in the initiative. All right.
Armor class
so,
11.
Armor class 11.
The other one.
As it first swipes at you, that is a 27 to hit. I'm guessing that hits.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see something here. All right, and that first one, you take 19 bludgeoning damage as it comes down with its left hand and just bam into your side, and you feel like a rib crack, or at least go out of place a little bit.
The 19.
Yeah, 19 damage. And then it takes several steps forward towards Crumb. Whoa. Oh my gosh. All right, and takes a swing at Crumb.
I'll use my second flare.
All right. And that is a 12 to hit. That does not hit, I think. Okay. Next up, who is next up? Oh, Crom, you are up next. The earth elemental, the fire elemental have been being replaced by this giant earth elemental in front of you. What are you going to do?
I'm going to rage. And
You are raging.
am I raging? Okay.
You are now raging, yes. Yes. Go
Okay.
for it.
And I would like to run up to the rock or earth elemental and hit it with my vindicator.
Okay.
13.
13 does not hit this guy.
Okay.
As you come up with the vindicator, it kind of like sparks and glances off the first time.
Okay. I'm rolling really bad today. Okay. I'll try again.
All right.
20. Sorry.
20?
19. 19.
19 will hit.
Okay.
Go ahead and roll for damage.
Okay. 10. Wait. Hold on. I'm sorry. I have things to add. 10 plus 15 plus 18 damage.
18 damage. Okay. So this time it bites in, and as you kind of wrench it out of the earth elemental's body, some stones and dirt kind of pour out with it, and it grunts and kind of half takes a step back. Okay, is that your turn?
I would like to try to hit it with my bracer. I can do that, right? I believe.
Yeah, you have a couple of charges on the bracer, I believe.
Yeah.
And it says, well, let me see, because it's just an straight up extra attack, isn't it? I don't remember the rules. You haven't used it in a while.
Additional attack on their turn. On my turn.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, you get to take one additional attack with the bracer on your turn. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, a 9 doesn't get it, so I tried though.
All right, and as you try to kind of push back with the bracer, you just find yourself kind of punching a rock wall.
Yeah.
Okay. Zeepel, you are up.
Did you say this thing was brought here with magics?
I mean, yes.
Zephyl is going to try to use the spell magic to see if he can make it go away.
You can banish too, right? Or do you have banish?
I can. Yeah, I'll just try banishment instead. That's a little more straightforward. Get you done.
All right, let me see something. And that's a charisma saving throw, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me see something. Okay, cool. Yes. Charisma saving throw. He has terrible charisma. 13. So that's a failure if I'm right.
Yeah.
So as Zippo kind of steps forward, with his hands, and some light flashes out, you hear that once again same kind of familiar noise, like the pop noise, as he kind of rotates in on himself and is suddenly gone in a flash of light. And assuming you both keep concentration for the next minute, you should be okay.
So they shouldn't cast banishment on anything else for a whole minute. Right?
Or any concentration.
Yeah.
Or any concentration spell. Okay.
No concentration spells for the next 60 seconds, you guys. Although that was pretty great. I'm glad that mechanic came in. All right. As the quiet once again falls over this small glade in the forest, you hear some crows kind of in the distance cawing, and as they fly off, you're left with some melted and trampled snow around this building, feeling a little bit sore from being hit in the side or in the face sometimes. Crom, you're a little singed, but mostly none the worse for the wear. There is, though, still a noticeable red glow coming from around the back and the side of the destroyed building here.
So I show them what the elemental showed me about the rift or whatever.
Yeah, coming around the corner, you see that there is some type of rift in space and time, glowing red. Seems to be.
Oh, well, there's a problem right there.
It's true.
How do you close it? Close it.
Monkey wrench.
That's dumb. Don't do a concentration spell.
Has it been a minute?
I mean, it's by this point, it's been a minute. Like, you can wait a minute if not. And you feel as the magic dissipates, the elementals that you had banished, both of you, you can feel that they are now in their home planes. But there is this rift in space and time in front of you. It seems flames are, and if you go to look down into it, it's a little bit disorienting. As you look down in, it looks as if you're looking along the ground into this plane of existence. So as if gravity is 90 degrees to what it is here.
Do y'all want to go in?
So we should go in, right?
Yeah. Jump.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Question. So this is a cottage. We're on the outside of the cottage still?
You are right now on the outside of the cottage, kind of on the back side from where you came up to the cottage. Yes.
Can I try to go in the cottage and see if I hear anybody that's in danger from the burning cottage?
I mean, you can go into the smoldering cottage. Make a investigation check.
Ah, damn. 4.
Okay. I mean, going in, there's not a whole lot you find left. There's the slightly soggy, ashy remnants of, it looks like some what might have been wooden furniture, as well as parts of the thatch and wooden ceiling and roof that used to be here, but not a lot of it left.
Okay.
Is there anything left to loot?
Make an investigation check.
Hang on 1 second. My D20 just went away. Here we go. 15.
15. All right. Looking around, I mean, this was a fairly smallish cottage. You find a couple copper coins. Yeah, there's a small kind of cast iron pot or cauldron that looks like it was in what used to be the fireplace. But it's still serviceable. But other than that, not a lot.
No bodies.
I think I'll pass on that.
There are no bodies in that investigation check you find, though. You don't find bones. You don't find anything like that.
That is a blessing.
Oh, can I do a check to see if what I know about this portal, like if it looks like a spell that I recognize or something like that?
Yeah. Go ahead and roll an Arcana check.
Am I able to assist?
Yeah, and you can assist. So, do you want to both roll one, or you want to roll at advantage?
I'll roll one.
I
Yeah,
got a
go ahead.
25.
Okay. I mean, that's going to be enough.
Yeah, my Arcana is really high.
For sure.
Yeah.
So, pulling your resources and talking about the kind of the theoretical physics behind, well, how does one open up this, and what could this and just kind of taking a look at all angles of this, and like what happens when you throw a rock through it, stuff like that. You figure out that while you're not sure what spell might have created this rift, you know that it seems to be fairly unstable. Whatever it is was created by somewhere in the general area. There was some type of magical something that happened that very powerfully tore this rift open. It also seems as you throw the rock in, it kind of zaps the rock. It doesn't allow things to travel back through into it. It's a one-way rift, it seems like.
Oh.
of unknown origin, although it would take a fairly strenuous disturbance to create something like this.
But created with agency, not like a naturally occurring anomaly.
Well, it's not something that looks naturally occurring. Yes.
Right. Well,
it seems like though it might be dispellable or something like that if you had the right tools or spells.
well, I think I don't know how to close this, and closing it would be one way to fix this specifically. But this also means that there's somebody out here that opens rifts.
Yes, we can see that.
Surthus, Z-Pill, you guys close rifts?
I've not made a habit out of it, but I
Be
can.
good information to know, but I do not.
Theoretically?
I can. It is magic, and I can certainly attempt to dispel magics as I misguidedly tried to do earlier. So I'll try to dispel magic on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Go
let's
away.
see.
Go away, magic.
And what level are you gonna cast at?
I guess 3. Level 3.
Third level.
Third
Okay.
level.
Okay. Could you roll an ability check?
No.
Could you?
It's an 18.
Is that plus your spellcasting modifier?
Yeah, so I roll a 13 plus my spell casting
Plus five.
modifiers. 5,
Okay.
so it's 18.
Okay. In that case, yeah, as you gather the light in front of you between your hands, kind of concentrating, staring at the rift, and you release it, as this wave of light kind of rolls over it, it seems to warp at first and then start warping faster and vibrating, and eventually it vibrates so fast that it just closes in kind of a snapping sound, and it disappears.
I just would like to say that it's my first time, and I cannot guarantee that it's for permanent.
All right.
Good job.
Okay. It being about mid-afternoon, is there anything else you all would like to do here?
Are there any other cottages nearby
That aren't
that look
burned up?
like they had already been burned or not burned?
Looking around, it looks like this was the only cottage or structure in this area. There's kind of a small clearing here in the woods with, it looks like some, what might be fields, but they're covered in snow right now.
Yeah.
But no other cottages right here. No. And you
Okay.
are, like I said, about a half mile off the road. So yeah.
Do you guys think that it's done or
We don't see any more smoke or anything.
right?
Oh no, you don't see any more smoke rising from anything. This would seem to be the source of the only smoke in the area that you saw.
I guess we did it. We are the heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we head back to our bounty.
I would like to apologize for not doing more to spare you guys any pain.
No, you banished it. You did good.
You did a fine job.
You're earning your place here.
Maybe on the way back we can discuss why you did not decide to do a mating ritual for the lady.
She's taken. Definitely taken. I guess maybe they have an open relationship. I didn't ask.
I mean, I was hatched from an egg. I don't really, the finer points of the warm blood matings. I miss. So it is something to just, you know.
Do tieflings mate for life?
I don't know if tieflings do what. They're warm bloods.
Not you, but
Oh, you're asking Surface?
yeah. I guess
I kind of been, I was born here, so similar, I guess, to the rest of you.
Okay, back to the people.
All right. Okay, so going back to the road and traveling back, you're able to get a few miles before sundown today. Waking up the next morning, you're able to continue back to Vasselheim. Coming into the city, it's pretty much how you left it. Once again, coming through the Dusk Meadow, it's a little bit goth, quiet, and then coming down into the Quad Roads district, it livens up considerably. Eventually coming back to the familiar site of the Slayer's Take, and coming through the doors, the lamps and fires burning, and the mounted heads everywhere. You find Vanessa just sitting reading. It's a little more empty in here than it had been last time, not as many people. But as you come in, she closes the book and says, "Well, yes, it's good to see you. You were actually, that was 2 days. That's fairly good. And I've you succeeded. Come over here. I'll show you." She shows you where to. You can put in the claim for your bounty.
Oh.
And then she says, "And now the initiation. So are all of you going to be joining?" She looks at you, Surthus. You did complete the bounty with them. You can also join. It doesn't cost anything.
What are my obligations?
Obligations. If you take a bounty on a creature within the realm of Vasselheim or Isilra, the continent of Isilra in general, we ask that you do so through us, and if not, you would at least pay the 2% tax to us, so that we can keep people armed, fed, healed, things like that. In return, anytime you find a guild hall, you will be housed, fed, armed if need be so, healed, of course, like I said, and any available contracts are open to you.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll join.
Well, please follow me. There is an initiation ceremony. Just follow me. She starts walking towards the back of the large room, takes out a ring of keys, kind of flips through it a couple and finds one, puts it into the lock on a door and opens it. And you see a stone stairway leading down below the ground. Torches every now and then burning on the walls. And she gestures for you to follow her as she starts down the stairs. You all following?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. It takes a while. You kind of lose track of how many turns around this circular stairway going underground, and it becomes disorienting almost after a little bit. It's a good 10 minutes before you come down and out into a dark room, which at first it takes a moment, even though for those of you with dark vision, as your eyes had adjusted to the torchlight, and as your eyes adjust and your ears can kind of hear that this room is massive. And in the midst of it, as your eyes adjust, you can see is a stepped pyramid kind of temple, it looks like. Maybe 100 feet tall. in the midst of this subterranean kind of domed enclosure. A ziggurat, if you will. A single entrance leading into the bottom of it. And she once again silently gestures for you to follow her as she walks towards the temple. You did not expect something like this down here. It is much larger than the building above, and it seems that it's very old, by the way it looks. Constructed long before most of the city was, maybe. Are you all going to follow her into the temple?
Heck
Well,
yes.
this is very unexpected.
Yes.
Yeah, let's follow.
Yay.
All right. Going into the temple, there's a short passageway as you follow her into a good-sized chamber in the midst of the temple. There's kind of a raised dais in the middle with a metal kind of holder holding a glowing orb of stone. And sitting next to it, you see something none of you, I don't think, would have seen before, except maybe in books. A sphinx, a woman's head and face on a large lion body with wings coming out of the back. Her eyes glowing slightly blue with no pupils and actually shedding some light. And as you kind of stop looking in amazement, and Vanessa continues into the room to stand next to the dais, the Sphinx speaks and says, welcome in the name of Ayun. And that's where we're going to leave it today.
Hello.
Holy shit. Holy shit.
Awesome.
All right. So, thanks, y'all. That was a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm glad we got some banishment going on.
I definitely should have used my flare to stop those other two. I was being stingy.
It's all right.
So yeah, when Chomp banished the Earth Elemental or whatever, I was like, that's pretty cool because that's sent him home, which is where he'd rather be.
Yes.
And then he came back.
I thought that would be nice.
And then those concentration spells, you gotta manage those things.
That's an emotional roller coaster for an elemental right there.
Exactly. Okay, so next time we're playing is at the 13th of September.
Sure. Sounds good.
Everybody can make it?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Should
Cool.
miss.
Guys, this was really fun. I had a good time today.
Yeah, we did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Awesome. Yeah,
Thanks
and
again.
let me know if you have any questions or anything, and I will see y'all in 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay,
take it
thank you.
Have
All
going
right,
on.
adios.
Bye.